Hello, good evening, namaste. I will show you today how to configure DHCP server on any Cisco switch or router. Here we have taken one switch and there are two VPC. We are doing this lab in virtual lab EVNG. So first thing we will turn on all the devices. So select all of them and say start selected. Let them start first. Our target is how to configure multiple DHCP servers. I mean, for different VLANs, different DHCP servers. So here we will create two VLANs, VLAN 192.168.10.0/24 network, which will be VLAN 10, and there will be another one which will be 192.168.20.0/24, which will be VLAN 20. In the same way, if we have more VLANs, we can create more DHCP servers. We will see examples how we create. So let's save it here on the screen. So first we'll go to the switch and we'll say enable. First thing, give the name of the switch. So go to the config T and host name. This is switch 1, and then from here we can see how many VLANs available. So do so VLAN brief command will show you how many VLAN. So every switch come with VLAN 1, which is the default VLAN, and all the ports are members of that VLAN 1. So here we will create our own VLAN. So how to create the VLAN? Just two commands. First you will say VLAN and then say a number 10, and then you can give a name to it. So you say IT, VLAN 10 for IT, and exit, and then create another VLAN, VLAN 20, and give a name, say HR. Now we have created the VLAN. Now how we can see the VLANs? Again, same command, do so VLAN brief. So here we can see there are 10, 20, but there is no active members. No port is assigned to those VLANs, so we can assign them to there. So let's do, we can do one by one or we can do together. So I will do the range command, so which we can take in one go. Interface range, and from 0/0 interface range Ethernet 0/0 to 3. So we are selecting total 4 ports, and we say switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 10. Enter. Just now we have assigned these 4 ports into VLAN 10. So now whenever you run this command again, you will see these 10 ports are here, and same way we will assign 10 more to VLAN 20. So exit from here and then go switch interface range Ethernet 1/0 to 3, yes, and then say switch port mode access. We are trying this command, we are trying to make the switch as access port, and then switch port access, and this is the command for assigning them to a particular VLAN. The switch port access VLAN 20 here. Now 20 is HR. So now done. Once we run do so VLAN brief command, it will show us now there is no port in default VLAN because we have assigned all of them, 4 of them to the IT and 4 of them to the HR, and this switch have only 8 interfaces. Do so IP do so IP interface brief. We can see the number of ports available on this switch. So there are only 8, and I have already assigned 4 to the VLAN 10 and 4 of them to the VLAN 20. So there is no more left. Now we have to configure SVI, that is called switch virtual interface, so that they will act as a gateway for those VLANs. So how to configure the SVI interface? We will just say interface VLAN 10 and you will give IP address. IP address we will assign 192.168.10.254, which is the last IP address, and then get subnet mask 255.255.0, and we will say no sir. By default it will turn up. Turn it on because it is a virtual interface. Yeah, so it is up now. The interface is up now, and now we'll change for the VLAN 20 also. So exit interface VLAN 20 and say IP address 192.168.20.254, the last usable IP in this subnet, and 255.255.255.0, and say no sir. So once you see the interface status, now it will be showing up. Now you see the pop-up, there is interface VLAN 20 changed to up, and we can verify by giving command do so VLAN do so IP interface brief, IP interface brief command. Here we can see VLAN 20, 10 and 20 are in up conditions. So now we have to configure the DHCP, one for the VLAN 10 and one for the VLAN 20. So to how to configure the, we say exit, and then we will say IP DHCP pool and name of the pool. You can give any name. So here we'll give a meaningful name. We'll say IT, and then we will define the parameters for the DHCP server, which will be served to the clients during DHCP offer. The clients will send DHCP request and the server will send from this details. So here we can say IP DHCP. So first we will define the network. This is for which network? We will write network and 192.168.10.0. That's the network, and then subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So we say this is for this network. This pool is for this network, and we know it is 10.0 is for the VLAN 10. Now we will define the default gateway. So default router, that's the command default router, and we'll say 192.168.10.254. So whatever in gateway will be the our virtual interface IP. So here we will define that one, and then we can say the DNS DNS address. So DNS server. So DNS server we will assign. We do not have any DNS server, but supposedly most of the environment company have. So we can give the 192.168. Suppose it is running on 10.200. So we'll give that IP. If you want, if you have two DNS server in your environment, you can give another IP 192.168.10.201. Suppose there is two DNS domain controller running and DNS server also running by default on the domain controller. You can give in this way, and then enter, and that's much. The pool is defined. Now we will define the DHCP pool for 20 network, which is for the HR. So we'll do again IP DHCP pool and say HR. You can give any name, and then you say which network. So network is 192.168.20.0, and then subnet mask 255.255.0, and then default route is 192.168.20.254, and then we will say the DNS server. So DNS server we can give again 192.168.10.200, and another one is 192.168.10.201. Done and exit. So we can verify also using do so run, or we can filter that also using exclude or include. So here we can see there is a pool with IT name. The network is 10, the subnet mask is /24, and the default gateway is 10.254, and this is the DNS address, and this is the DNS address. This will be the same because most of the environment we have only 2 or 3 maximum, and then this is for the 20 HR. Now we'll come to the clients and we will request for the IP and see the PCs are receiving the IP or not. So first thing, let me clear here. This PC belongs to Vlan 10, and that is IT, right? And then you can make a duplicate of this and rewrite here, edit, Control Z. Okay, we can make duplicate again and bring it here. Delete this item, no need, and edit this one. So VLAN is 20 and it is for HR. So turn on this PC, say reconnect, and if you write show IP, it will show the currently configured IP. Now there is no IP available to this PC. So now we'll say IP DHCP. I want the IP using DHCP. So it will send a request, and the client, if there is a DHCP running, so it will send the offer, and there are 4 DORA process it will complete. Now you see this PC receives the IP from 10 subnets, 10 network, because this port where the PC is connected is member of VLAN 10, so that's why it received the IP from the VLAN 10. Okay, and if you want to see what is the name server it receives, so you can just write the show IP command again, and this time it will show you the command. So this is the IP it has received with the subnet mask, and this is the gateway it has received, and these are the DNS server detail. Okay, and DHCP server is running on this host. Release I have not defined, it is default, and this is the MAC address of the PC. Now come to the another switch, another PC, VPC3, and let's renew the IP of this one. First say show IP. Now it has still not received any IP. So how to get the IP from the IP DHCP? You say IP DHCP, and it will try to get the IP from the DHCP server, which is running on the Cisco device, which it could be router, it could be switch. Now it received from the 10.2 network. That's means we have connected with the wrong port. So let's make changes to there. It is connected on 0/1, and 0/1 is a member of VLAN 10, not VLAN 20. We can show this. So do VLAN 20, do so VLAN brief, and we can see 0/1 is member of 10. That's why it received the IP from VLAN 10. Now we have to change it, make it to VLAN 20 so that it can receive the IP from VLAN 20. So again we have to change the membership. So it's very easy. So how we'll do, interface e 0/1 and make once here 0/1. Yeah, so 0/1, and then we'll say switch port mode, switch port access mode we have already defined. Just change the VLAN membership, VLAN 20, and class exit. Now the switch will take 30 minutes due to STP, and now we will try again to get the IP. Now this time you can see it has received IP and name server from this range 10.2 IP it has received, and this is the name server it has received. The gateway is 10.254, but this time we will renew and it will get the IP of 20 IP DHCP. Yeah, 30 seconds have already passed, so it will receive 20.1. You see, before it received 10 network, now it receives from 20 network. And here we can see if what DHCP have given for the DNS. So IP, yes. So the DNS address also it has given what where we have defined. So that's how PC needs these details to talk to outside. That the gateway is very important, and if they want to ping any device with the name, then they must have the DNS detail. So this is how we configure multiple VLANs and multiple DHCP servers. In the same way, we can configure other VLANs and assign some ports to those VLAN, and then we can run another DHCP server for that VLAN. So actually, it is the network which is making the differences to identify which belongs to which one. So that's all. Thank you very much for watching my video. Thank you.